We live in this 3D world where everything takes time. It's actually governed by a universal law called the law of gender, which means every desire has an incubation or gestation period. Also means that your manifestations are no different. You see, from the moment you set a goal or intention to the moment that it shows up in your physical reality as a manifestation, there's actually a lag. This lag is called what we call a gap. But what if you could shorten that gap so your manifestation comes faster? What if you could collapse time and experience the results much faster? And that's exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you in today's video. 5 quantum shortcuts that I personally use to collapse timelines and manifest the unexpected and also completely transform my reality, and how you can do the same too. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Amy Lin and I'm a wealth mindset coach. And I teach entrepreneurs how to manifest 6 to 7 figures with ease. And this is my baby Mojo. And my story is a living proof of what a true quantum leap looks like. You see, just a few years ago, I was a shy, reserved, burnt out realtor back in California. I was struggling with low self-worth and I felt stuck. And today, a few years later, I have location freedom. I can work from anywhere in the world, and currently I'm living in Dubai. And I run a $1 million coaching business doing what I love. And since then, I've also written 2 international best-selling books. I became a global speaker, an investor, and also an executive producer on 3 Hollywood films. And my latest one is with the legend Al Pacino. If you had told me a few years ago that I would manifest all of this in just a short span of time, I wouldn't have believed you. You see, my life has completely transformed in a short amount of time. So how did I do it? And that's exactly what I'll be sharing with you in today's video. The 5 quantum shortcuts that help me to create massive shifts in my life and also in the lives of hundreds of my students. So if you are ready to change your results and finally step into your next level reality, this video is for you. Now, let's get into the 5 shortcuts. If you want to experience a quantum leap, which is a massive shift in your results, it all begins with setting the right goals. You see, not just any goals. You need to set a fantasy goal. And that's step 1. You see, a fantasy goal is a goal that's so big and it's so exciting at the same time that it stretches you beyond your current identity. You don't want to base it on what you've done before, and you don't want to limit yourself with logic or based off of your past performances. This is what you want to do. You want to ask yourself, what do I really want? If you didn't have to worry about the how. And this is where I want to encourage you to set a financial goal. How much money would you like to earn in the next 3 to 6 months? Remember, do not get caught up on how it's going to happen. For now, just ask yourself, what would I love? How much money would you like to earn in the next 3 to 6 months? I actually created a separate video on how to craft the correct fantasy goal. Be sure to watch that video after this video. And as for me, my first fantasy goal that I ever set was to turn my annual income of $100,000 in a year into my monthly income. So $100,000 in a month. And at the time, that felt impossible because I had never earned that much money in a month and I had absolutely no idea how it was going to happen. You see, it didn't happen overnight. It actually took me 18 months to turn my annual income into my monthly income. But if I hadn't made that fantasy goal, I don't think I would have manifested at all, or it might have taken me even longer had I set a realistic goal instead. So how did I do it? Well, that brings us to the second shortcut. Shortcut number 2, the power of decision. Once you've set a fantasy goal, the next step is to make the decision to go after your goal. You see, most people wishing and hoping that their goals will manifest, and they wait for outside external world to change before they make a decision. Let's say that they want to go on a vacation, and then they wait to make sure they have days off before they book the trip. Or maybe they want to buy a new car or a new house, and what do? They wait to save up the money to buy it. Yes, it's logical, it makes sense, and that's how I used to make decisions as well. But what I've learned that the only prerequisite to making a decision is, do I want it? And once you make a committed decision, it actually has the power to flip yourself onto a completely different frequency. Let me show you an example. You see, so Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secret of the universe, think in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. Okay? So everything is on a frequency. So is your goal. Let's just say that these are the lines of frequency. Let's say that this is where you are now, and this is where you want to go, your heart. Okay? So you see, you're actually on a different frequency, and you'll never get to the frequency of your desire, which is this heart, until you flip yourself onto the frequency. And how do you do it? How do you flip yourself onto the frequency? You first make a decision. As soon as you make a decision that this is where I want to go, then what's going to happen is you start to vibrate at this frequency as your goal. When that happens, you start to attract the resources, the opportunities, the people that are aligning with the same frequency. You see, one of my favorite quotes by Ralph Waldo Emerson, he said that once you make a decision, universe will conspire to help you. Why is that? It's because once you make a decision, you immediately flip yourself from the frequency of here, where your reality is, you flip yourself to a different reality, a different timeline, a different frequency. And when you are operating on this frequency, this is where you attract the resources that you need. That's why it's crucial that you make a committed decision to go after your C-type goal. You don't need to know the how, because once you make a decision, your goal will attract the how to you. Now we're getting into shortcut number 3. And this might come off as a surprise for some of you, but quantum leaps don't come from simply doing more. You see, quantum leaps come from becoming and aligning with the version of you who already has your fantasy goal. You see, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. And I know you've heard that in personal development over and over again. But what does that really mean? So in order to experience a new reality, you have to start living from the identity of the version of you who already has your goal. You see, because that version of you already exists in the quantum field. All you need to do is to tune into that version. And it starts with 2 simple steps. Step 1, you want to release. This is where you want to let go of the old identity, the beliefs, the patterns, the ways of showing up that no longer serve you. Then step 2, this is where you want to rewire. This is where you want to begin installing new beliefs, new standards, and a new self-concept that's in alignment with your fantasy goal. And for me, that meant I had to release the shy, the self-doubting version of me who struggled with low self-worth. And then I had to rewire and step into the new version of me who is confident, who shows up unapologetically, and who aligns with my purpose and earning $1 million a year. You see, so what I want you to do is I want you to take a moment and write this down. Who is the version of you who already has your fantasy goal? And take some time to really sit down and create this version of you. How do they dress? How do they talk? How do they think? How do they act? How do they make decisions? Then Once you have that down, I would like you to start taking just one action towards becoming and aligning with the new identity. Because when you start to live from that version of yourself and continuously showing up more and more every day, your external world will reflect it back to you, your new reality. Shortcut number 4, tune in to the frequency of your desired reality. You see, manifestation is not just about action. It's actually about aligning your energy first, because everything you desire already exists on a specific frequency, like I showed you earlier. And the only way to receive it is to constantly match on that frequency. And this is where your energy comes in. You want to tune in to the frequency of your fantasy goal. You have to feel it now before it manifests. And that means using tools like visualization and affirmation, not just occasionally, once in a while, but daily. Make it a predominant frequency. I made this a non-negotiable part of my daily routine. I would visualize the version of me living in Dubai prior to moving here. Or I would visualize myself speaking on stages around the world even before it happened. Even when there's no physical evidence of it, I kept going because I knew it was only a matter of time. And once I became a vibrational match to it, the reality had to manifest. And that's exactly what happened. The how began to show up. The money, the speaking opportunities, and even the resources that I needed to relocate to a new country, to Dubai. You see, reality will begin to catch up to your frequency. So it's your job to get on the frequency. And to help you with this, I've created a 5-step creative visualization process. Also, I created a playlist of guided videos to help you. So make sure you check in the description below. And if you want to have a quantum leap in your results, you want to start generating the feeling now. Because the sooner you align with that frequency, the faster your manifestation will start showing up. Shortcut number 5, co-creating with the unseen power. Personally, I believe this is the most important and most powerful shortcut of them all. Because the truth is, you're not just manifesting alone by yourself. You are actually always co-creating with something greater than you. Call it universe, God, source, or infinite intelligence. Doesn't matter. But when you truly understand this power, everything shifts for you. You see, quantum leaps don't just come from strategies or hard work or hustling. They actually come from aligning with higher guidance. Those quiet nudges, those intuitive feelings, and divine downloads that arise when you trust your energy and your inner knowing. Some of my biggest turning points in my life didn't come from logic or planning. They actually came from following the nudges. Let me share a quick story with you. So back in 2019, this is when I was affirming over and over again that I'm a powerful speaker, that I clearly communicate my messages, and people love hearing what I have to say. Mind you, at the time, I was not a speaker. I had never even spoken publicly before. Guess what happened? 4 months later, I attended a virtual networking event, and this was during the pandemic. And there was a woman's name popped up. Her name said Didi Wong. And when I saw her name, something inside of me said, connect with her. And it didn't make sense to me at the time. And as fate would have it, we landed in the same breakout rooms. This is over Zoom. And she introduced herself briefly, maybe for like 20 seconds. And she mentioned that she was an investor, she was a serial entrepreneur, and also she gave her phone number and said we could connect with her. You see, now normally I wouldn't reach out. This is not something that I would do, but I follow my intuition, the nudge. So I reached out to her, and then we got on a Zoom call the next day. And what I found out was that she was actually a speaking coach. And in that moment, I knew that I wanted to work with her because she was my manifestation, because I was wanting to become a speaker, and what are the chances that I manifested a speaking coach? And that one single decision unfolded into so many manifestations afterwards. It ended up to be my first speaking opportunity on Amazon Prime TV show called Speak Up. I also ended up writing 2 best-selling Amazon books, working on my 3rd, all because of Dee Dee's connection. Lastly, she also introduced me to speak on stages in Paris and in Dubai. And she also introduced me to become an investor and executive producer in Hollywood films. All because I listened to my intuition guidance from something greater, and of course I took action, right? I followed the voice inside, even though it didn't make sense externally. And knowing what I know now, that it was not a coincidence, it was actually co-creating with the universe. You see, the more you trust in the unseen forces, the more the path will reveal and unfold itself. But you have to listen, and you have to trust, and you have to act on it, even though you may not have the full picture. But you gotta trust and listen to your nudge. So if something keeps tugging you at your heart, or if a name keeps on popping up, make sure you follow it, and then let universe surprise you. So now that you know the 5 quantum shortcuts that help me to quantum leap my life, and if you also want to have a quantum leap in your life, I would like to invite you to join our free community. This is where we go deeper into these teachings, and I can answer any questions that you have around manifestation or quantum leaps. Go ahead and check out in the link in the description below, and I'll see you there.